Hey, this is Smokin' Dave, and you're listening to a man who has watched every episode of Westworld but has no clue what's going on. It's the Kevin Friedman Show!
Hey now, it's Tuesday, May 1st, and another SportsGossip.com podcast is on the air. I'm your host, Kevin Friedman, along with my announcer, Smokin' Dave, and together we will bring you 10 of the hottest stories off the SportsGossip.com website. Dave, start us off with story number 1.
Caps fans celebrated series-tying win by fighting each other in the streets.
If you're a listener of this podcast, then you know we love when fans fight each other. This one was in Washington after the Capitals evened up their series with the Pittsburgh Penguins 1-1. A fight spilled out on the streets, which you can go to sportsgossip.com to watch yourself. As far as fights go, this is not the greatest one, but what amazes me is these guys keep going after each other with 3 cops trying to break them up. I mean, they could care less that there's cops sitting there. What also bothers me is these are all people over 30 years old, and they're all wearing Ovechkin jerseys. I've got a long-standing policy on sports jerseys. If you're over 15 years old and you're wearing another grown man's jersey, then you got problems. I mean, I still wear jerseys sometimes, but I haven't bought a new jersey in 20 years. I still wear the jerseys I had when I was a kid. That's the only time it's acceptable for one person to wear another person's name on the back of their shirt. You want to wear a t-shirt of your team? Fine. You want to wear a sweatshirt? Fine. But for you to spend your own money to go out of your way to buy this guy's jersey, to me that's a little much. Anyways, you can go to sportsgossip.com to check out the fight and all these grown men wearing Ovechkin jerseys. This series is tied at a game apiece and should be a good one to watch down the line. Dave, what's next?
Cleveland radio host to eat poop after Browns drafted Baker Mayfield.
ESPN Cleveland sports radio host Aaron Goldhammer said he would eat horse poop if the Browns drafted Baker Mayfield first overall, and now he plans to follow through. At a draft party, he stood up and made the announcement that he will eat the horse poop next week. And while some say he is a man of his word, if he really eats this poop, he should be fired and thrown out of the country. I mean, first off, I know how it is when you're on the air, wasting time, and you're just trying to be entertaining. You say stupid things like you'll eat horse poop. I mean, he's just trying to be entertaining. I mean, I've said on my podcast that I'd rather take a bullet to the foot than have to watch The Bachelor. But if I really had to choose, I'd watch The Bachelor instead of taking a bullet to the foot. I mean, come on. If this guy goes through and eats this horse poop, then he's pathetic and should never be able to live it down. I mean, are the listeners really that evil that they're going to hold him to this? I mean, people getting tortured don't even have to eat horse poop. Even the torturer would think that would be going too far. Yet this guy's going to do it for a radio show? If you ask me, he's pathetic. And if he ends up eating that poop, throw him out of the country. Dave, I'd ask you if you'd ever consider eating horse poop, but I'm afraid of the answer. So give us the next story.
LeBron James broke out his Game 7 flop.
Yeah, LeBron might have brought out his flop, but he also brought out his A game as the Cavs beat the Pacers 105-101 to win the series in 7 games. LeBron had 45 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 4 steals in the win. He shot 64% from the field, 2 for 3 from the three-point line. He was unstoppable. In the series, he averaged 34 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. And while I've said plenty of times you cannot compare LeBron and MJ, I will say if LeBron goes on to win a title this year, which is a long shot because he's definitely on one of the worst teams he's ever played on, but if he does go on and win the title and keeps playing like this, I will proclaim that this was a more dominant season by LeBron James than any Michael Jordan had in his entire career. Now, LeBron still has a ton of work to do, but if he does pull this off, I will stick to my guns and say that this will be more impressive than anything Jordan pulled off in his entire career. The Cavs move on to take on Toronto. That series begins tonight, and as far as the flop, let me quickly say, yeah, it was a big-time flop. But This is Game 7. You do everything to get an advantage, and you got the foul call. So, more power to him. All right, before we get to the next story, I mentioned towards the end of last show that we might have a special guest on today. But, Dave, that special guest will not be coming on. And Dave and Ivan Babushka, I blame you guys. Last week I did a story about a girl named Morgan Stroke who lives in Milwaukee and had a viral video go out of her throwing a football like a champion and then chugging a bear. Now I contacted Morgan through Instagram and she actually got right back to me. She said she was very excited that we were talking about her and she couldn't wait to hear the podcast. Now if you remember, during that story, Dave, you had to proclaim your love for her and sing her a love song, and then Ivan Babushka came on after and sang her a love song. Well, since then, I haven't heard a word from her. I think you two scared her off. So thanks a lot, guys. Morgan, if you hear this and you still want to come on the show, we'd love to have you, and I promise you, Dave and Ivan, I won't even let them talk.
Who is this chick think she is? I sang my heart out to this lady, and this is how she treats me? Forget about you, Morgan. You blew it. You could have had Smokin' Dave, the ultimate man's man, but nope. Now you got no chance.
Well, Dave, it looks like you aren't the only one upset about this. On the phone, it's everybody's favorite Russian, Ivan Babushka. Ivan, you there?
This Morgan Stroke, who does she think she is? I sing beautiful song for her, and she does not like?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you and Dave scared her off.
I am too much of a man for Morgan Stroke anyway. Good luck, Morgan, finding a man with his own dining emporium with bathroom inside restaurant. Ivan Babushka will never date you.
Ivan, thanks for checking in. Morgan, you blew it. Dave, what's next?
Watching Shaquem Griffin get drafted will hit you in the feels.
I've never heard the term hit you in the feels before, but I get it. The one-handed linebacker Shaquem Griffin was drafted in the 5th round by the Seattle Seahawks with the 141st overall pick. He's now reunited with his twin brother Shaquille, who is a defensive back on the team. You can go to sportsgossip.com to watch a video of the family going crazy when he gets drafted. They had a big group hug. Shaquem is a very inspirational player, and this is a fantastic story. There's also a video out there of a little girl in a cheerleader uniform. She has one arm, and she makes a personal video to Shaquem, congratulating him on getting drafted and then doing a cartwheel. This guy's an inspiration to people all over the world. I hope he has a successful NFL career, and I couldn't be more happy for the guy.
I played professional football in Guatemala for 7 years, and I have 3 testicles. You don't hear me making a big deal out of it.
Dave, don't sell yourself short. I'm sure you're an inspiration to all the guys with 3 testicles who want to play professional football in Guatemala. Now, what's next?
Jimmy Garoppolo is not a tipper.
Now, this is an unfair story. Jimmy Garoppolo went to a Cold Stone Creamery. The employees asked to take a picture with him, which he took, and then they outed him on social media for not leaving a tip. Now my question is, since when do you tip at a Cold Stone Creamery? I mean, come on. Just because he's rich, he doesn't have to leave tips for every single person around. It's an ice cream store, not a restaurant. What Jimmy should do is go back to this Cold Stone Creamery and beat the crap out of these 2 nerds who outed him. Dave, you ever eat at Cold Stone Creamery?
I'm a TCBY guy.
Well, I'm pretty sure they've been out of business for about 20 years.
Cold Stone Creamery, TCBY, they're all for pussies. Real men get their ice cream at Baskin Robbins.
And on that note, let's take a break. We've got 5 stories down, 5 to go. We'll be back right after this.
Hello, my name is Big Dong, and I have a new item for sale for you. I have a cowboy hat, I have a 1 pair cowboy boot, I have 1 pair assless chaps, and I have 3 pair slightly stained underwear. You contact me, I give you good deal. That's bigdong@yahoo.com. Thank you.
And we're back. Dave, I see you typing over there. Please do not tell me that you are trying to purchase those stained underwear.
What kind of sick bastard do you think I am? Of course not. I'm contacting him about the assless chaps.
Whatever you do, Dave, do not wear those to work. What's next?
Pacers fan wins worst dad of the year.
Now here's another story I disagree with. This dad was nice enough to take his son to an NBA playoff game. The dad's a Pacers fan. The son's a LeBron James fan and wore a James jersey to the game. So his dad made a sign that said, "Everybody boo my son." It was obviously a joke, and if you ask me, the son deserves to be booed. I mean, I wouldn't let my kid be a Sox fan. If my kid wanted to be a White Sox fan, I'd throw him out of the house. I don't care how old he was. Hell, when I was 8 years old, my dad took me to a wrestling match at Rosemont Horizon. My favorite wrestler was the Junkyard Dog. His arch nemesis was Randy Macho Man Savage. I made a sign that said Elizabeth is more macho than the Macho Man. My dad flagged down Randy Savage, made me show him the sign, and scared the crap out of me. I look back on it and thought it was hilarious. So if you want to call this guy a bad dad for taking his son to an NBA playoff game, then go ahead, but you're insane. This guy seems like a great dad. In fact, I'm going to name him the SportsGossip.com podcast's Father of the Year. Dave, what's next?
Phil Mickelson throwing a football is the most surprising video you'll see today.
On the last podcast, we talked about Morgan Strozik tailgating at a Brewers game showing off her great football arm. And now we have a video of Phil Mickelson showing off his arm on the golf course. You can go to sportsgossip.com to watch a video of Phil in action. Now, I'm not a golfer, but if I was, I would bring a football with me out every time. Either a football or a mitt and a baseball. If I'm on a golf course and I don't have a football, a mitt, or a baseball, and a bunch of weed, I will not be a happy man. Dave, are you a golfer?
I used to be, but I've been kicked out of basically every country club in America.
Why is that?
Why do you think? Because I like to golf in the nude.
Of course you do. Now give us that next story.
Marshawn Lynch doing for underwear what Steph Marbury did for shoes.
Yes, I've been told nothing turns a lady on more than $5 Beast Mode underwear. Marshawn Lynch is selling his Beast Mode underwear for the low price of $5 a pair. You can go to sportsgossip.com to check them out. If you ask me, they don't look like they're even worth $5. Personally, when it comes to underwear, I want the best. I mean, come on, they're protecting the most important part of your body. I want my boxers comfortable, soft, and if I have to pay extra for them, who cares? Well worth it. Dave, what about you?
I bought a 12-pack of Tidy Whities at Walmart back in 1973, and I still have every pair.
You've been wearing the same 12 pairs of underwear since 1973?
Yep, and they're multicolored, too.
What do you mean? You said they were Tidy Whities.
They started out as Tidy Whities. Now they're white on the sides, but they're yellow in front and brown in the back.
Dave, I feel terrible for whoever has to do your laundry. What's next?
This one is a SportsGossip.com exclusive. Odell Beckham Jr. gives his sister Jasmine a brand new car for her Sweet 16.
Yes, you can go to sportsgossip.com to watch an exclusive video of ODB giving his sister a custom-made 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee in front of all her friends at her Sweet 16 party. The car is fully decked out. You got to check it out at sportsgossip.com. Odell Beckham is one hell of a brother. In related news, I heard Peyton and Eli Manning chipped in to buy their brother Cooper a remote control boat for their pool when he comes to visit them. Before we get to our final story, I see we have a caller on the line. Oh, it's Ivan Babushka again? Ivan, what is it?
Milos, gosh, Kevin, I meant to ask you, have you seen What's Up commercial?
Have I seen What's Up commercial? What?
You know, Budweiser commercial. What's up?
That commercial came out like 10 years ago.
It is hottest thing in Russia right now. Everybody is doing it. What's up?
Ivan, once again, thank you for the call. Dave, give us that final story.
Broncos fan got an Eagles Super Bowl tattoo because of his hatred of Tom Brady.
Now, this guy definitely wins Asshole of the Week and is a strong contender for Asshole of the Year. It's dumb enough to get a tattoo of the team you like on your body, but this Broncos fan got an Eagles tattoo simply because he hates Tom Brady. The tattoo is an Eagles logo on his leg with FYTB underneath and the date of the Super Bowl win. You can go to sportsgossip.com to check out the picture, and when you look at this picture, you'll see this guy cuts his head off, and I don't blame him, because if I got this tattoo, I wouldn't want anybody to see my face. Dave, you got any tattoos you regret?
Back in 1989, I got a tattoo of Bill Cosby's face on my left butt cheek. I'm kinda regretting that today.
I cannot say I blame you. And that'll wrap it up for another SportsGossip.com podcast. I want to thank my announcer, Smokin' Dave. I want to thank Ivan Babushka for calling in. Of course, I want to thank you for listening. And remember, for these stories and much, much more, go to our website at SportsGossip.com. Our next podcast is Friday, and until then, we'll see you next time.